reconnecting with Wit. Sorry, I don't know what happened.
Well, that was a good start.
Right. So
Whoops.
sorry. So the question that I asked you was, how are you doing?
Yeah, I'm good. I've just been editing and writing a lot because that's really all I can do right now. I had a lot of jobs canceled, especially in March, and then I had a film festival canceled that I was really excited about, that I was premiering a short film in, and then, other bigger stuff that I was working on for my reel all got canceled. So right now I've just been writing and editing
That's good. You
a
stay
lot.
productive.
Yeah,
That's what matters right now. And nowadays, we need to stay productive. Things that we haven't, had the
right.
time to do. Now we got.
Yeah,
There's no excuse. Now we have the time to actually do what we want to do. And I see you wrote
exactly.
a book. Can
I
you tell us a
did.
little bit about that?
Yeah, so I started writing an ebook. I do script consulting on the side. I did that in college and I really like it. So I kept getting the same questions over and over again. And I was like, well, maybe I should write, kind of like an introduction type of workbook for people to
Right.
do before they do the script consultation so they could do, just get those little things over with. So by the time they get to the script consultation, we'll have more to talk about.
Right.
So it's about a 40-page workbook. There's interactive worksheets in there, so it forces you to write stuff down instead of just reading about it.
Yeah.
And it was fun to write. It took about 2 months to write, and it's funny. Like there's a bunch of memes and stuff in it because I think a lot of textbooks are boring, so I thought I'd make
Right.
it fun.
Keep it interesting, right?
Yeah, and then I actually use it on my stuff too. There's a lot of stuff about character development, and then structure. If your idea is actually a story instead of just an idea, because they are two different things,
True.
and then coming up with a structured kind of log line.
Right.
So it's basically like if you're at the beginning of or like in the middle of a script, it's how to get you to a place to where it makes sense and that you can move forward.
It's so true. It's so true. And
Yeah.
I like how you go back to your book. It's like it's like you're inspiring yourself again,
Yeah.
seeing what you have done in the past. That's beautiful.
Yeah. So that was really fun to write. So because of the quarantine, it pushed me to finish it.
Wow, you see?
Yeah, exactly.
Wow, that's crazy. But yeah, I see a lot of people saying hi to you,
Hi.
and
Hey, Brazil.
from all over the world. I'm actually gonna write your Instagram right now, so people
Oh,
can
okay.
follow you. So if you wanna just reach out to people, say hi to them,
Yeah.
just write this down right now, real quick.
Yeah. I get a lot of people from India, so you guys are awesome.
Yeah,
I just got another shout out from my friend who put me on here. And then, I get a lot of cool fans that are really supportive, which is really nice because,
it's beautiful.
especially from all over the world. Like I had a professor reach out to me recently from Australia, and he's saying he's recommending my book to his film students,
Wow.
which was really cool. I was just like, oh, wow, okay. Like I don't know who he is, nothing. And so he just really liked the book. He's like, yeah, I just started doing that and reading it, and it was,
That's amazing.
you know,
That's that's amazing that he's actually gonna recommend people to your book.
yeah, I know.
That's amazing. You should be proud of yourself, honestly.
I
Reading
Yeah,
this book.
I'm glad I took a lot of time on it. Because like I like, I really put a lot of thought and work into it because I've never done it. I don't really consider myself a book like an author.
Yeah.
I write screenplays and do script consulting for the most time. And so I was really nervous putting that out there, but also I study a lot about storytelling. I took a lot of storytelling classes in school. I was like, okay, I know what I'm talking about. I'm just nervous.
That's
So hearing that was a really nice validation.
that's beautiful. That's so
Yeah.
beautiful. Definitely. If you guys haven't, where can they buy it? By the way.
Oh, so if you go to my profile, the link's right there. It will take you straight there.
Right. I just
It's
put your profile
right,
link
yeah.
in
If you
the
go
thing.
straight there, it will take you there. The book's called Get Your Story Straight.
Okay.
And then you can also go to my website, which is on there, but it's wittingramfilm.com/storytelling. That will take you straight there.
Awesome. Awesome.
So
Thank you.
yeah.
Well, Welcome everybody that joined us. This is Reid Ingram. She's a filmmaker, director, editor, screenwriter. She does it all. And definitely, definitely, check her work at Witty Film Girl. And definitely, she has a book. And what say the website again?
wittingramfilm.com/storytelling.
Awesome. Can you write that down real quick? Is that possible? Or I just put a link at the end of this.
Yeah, okay.
Awesome.
Yeah.
So let's just jump in the questions. I had a couple questions that actually came in.
Okay.
So what's your passion?
My passion,
Yes.
besides film, or like I guess incorporated with
Yeah,
film.
incorporated with film. Exactly.
I've loved film since high school. It's been a long time. So when I started, I really liked music. And hold on one second.
No, drink some water. Yeah,
I'm not sick, everyone. I'm just,
yeah.
allergies.
Funny.
I have to have to confirm that I'm not sick.
Every time you hear anybody cough, they're like, "Whoa."
I know, isn't that a weird thing that we have to do now?
Nah, right on set.
So
Set. Everybody's just gonna be on.
everyone's gonna be on edge.
Okay, right.
Yeah. So yeah, when I started, I actually back in the day, I was really into music and I really wanted to be some kind of musician or singer,
Nice.
but I can't sing.
Oh, yeah.
It's not natural to me. So I started doing film in high school. I took a TV and video production class, and the first assignment that we had was music videos.
Right.
And everything just kind of clicked from there. I was like, oh my, like, this is everything that I love. It's music, it's creativity, it's storytelling. I'm a very visual person, and so having that aspect in it as well was really nice. And it's challenging. I'm never bored. And so, yeah, and I really like that aspect. And so, having all those different elements combined really solidified that for me that this is what I want to do. And I mean, I don't know if I can describe my passion. It's really just a feeling and a love for it. And the more I do it, the more I love it. And it's hard, and it can be very defeating, if you don't really have a true love for it. Like I always tell people, like, if you do not love this, do not do it, because it is so hard. I've been doing this for a long time now, and I still struggle. Like there's a lot of up and downs, a lot of rejection. I hear a lot more no's than a lot more yeses. And so if you do not truly love it, this is what you want to do. You want to work 12 hours a day. You want to like sacrifice time and relationships and money and travel time and just like dealing with the ups and downs, then do not go for it, because this is not an easy job.
Right. It's not. Don't do it for the money. And
No.
don't do it for the money, because you're not gonna be getting paid. People think you get into in this industry and you're gonna get paid millions of dollars right away, and that's
Yeah.
not it. As you know,
No.
years been how long you been doing this? When you started this?
I've probably, like, when I really started doing this, probably been doing this for about 10 years. And then I've been doing freelance full-time, no school, 4 years.
Wow.
So, and I'm still not anywhere where I thought I would be, but I'm still working
You're
towards
better
my
than
goal.
it was 10 years ago.
Oh yeah. I hope that would be sad if I wasn't.
You would notice too. You actually know, like, and
Yeah.
that's something that you might even tell yourself, damn, maybe I'm not. This is not for me. Like you said, about music.
Yeah.
You like singing, but then you kind of realize you're like, oh, okay, that's. Let me just put that aside. But you still do it because you still actually have a love for it. But that's amazing. That's amazing how you said, like, you can't get in this industry just thinking, oh, you're gonna make money right away. Because it's not like that. You gotta have passion. No. You gotta love what you do.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So definitely, I'm with you with that. So when you actually started filmmaking, like, what was your first experience? Like, when you saw somebody, like, did you saw somebody actually, a movie inspire you to be a filmmaker? What was it?
It really was in school. Like when I took that video production class, I didn't necessarily know what I wanted to do exactly, but oh, here's my website, but it's gonna be backwards, isn't it?
I love that. I love that. Yes.
We'll see it in the link, but can you guys read it
Yeah,
backwards?
they get it. They get
Sort
it.
of.
Take a snap of it, guys.
Yeah. Screenshot that.
Right.
Um, but yeah, I mean, it really wasn't. I loved movies growing up. Like when I was a kid, my mom said I would zone out a lot. Like she'd try talking to me and I wouldn't hear her. So I've always loved movies and storytelling, and I would write too when I was little. Like I'd write short stories and poetry, but I don't think I realized filmmaking was a real job.
Mm-hmm.
Like it just didn't seem like it just wasn't something that I really thought about. So in high school, that's really what made me want to be in film because it made me realize one, it's a job, and two, it's something that I think I'd be good at
Right.
and that I'd really love doing. And so once I did that and took that class, that was really it for me. It
That's good.
wasn't really, yeah.
You just feel it. Like I
Yeah.
actually had something similar that happened to me, but it was I did an internship and I was a transcriber. You know, the people that actually
Oh,
write a caption on video.
yeah.
And I
Hmm.
was talking about that yesterday. Like it's crazy how that was my first internship, and then I saw somebody with a camera with a tripod, and that time I didn't know it was a tripod, and I was
Oh,
you guys, what you guys are doing? So I actually started talking about it, and I told them like I will volunteer. I'll actually volunteer. I don't care. I want to learn, and
yeah.
and I just pushed. I threw myself out there, and on the weekends, on my days off, I just went and did it. You know, they
Hmm.
wasn't paying me. I just did it, and that's how I tell a lot of people: just do it. If you feel it, just go.
Yeah. Yeah.
uh,
I didn't get paid for film for a long time. Like in school, I only had one job that was film. No, I had two jobs that were film related, but it wasn't till towards the end of school. But during school, I did an internship for free. I worked at Target half the time, and then I went to school full time, and then I worked on everyone's projects for free because if you work on their projects, they work on your projects. And I just
exactly.
wanted the experience also. And school is a perfect time to do that.
Mhm.
But yeah, I didn't get paid. I didn't make any money.
Right. It's like that. It's like
Yeah.
it's you gotta sacrifice those years to actually get paid, and when you start
Yeah.
knowing your worth, that's when you actually put a price on your projects and what you do.
Exactly.
Yeah. So let me go.
Mhm.
Let me go to the next question.
Mhm.
So what advice can you give to an upcoming filmmaker who's struggling?
Who's struggling? I mean, I feel like we're all struggling.
We are, but somebody that is true, very true. So it's true,
Mhm.
but somebody that actually don't have like like that support system, that
Yeah.
you do have right now.
Yeah. I mean, one thing I did, so I went to school, so as soon as I graduated, I did have that network of people that I knew,
Yes.
which was probably the most important aspect of going to school. Like I learned a lot, but at the same time, like I really didn't get any jobs except for the fact that I knew people from school.
Right.
But other than that, I mean, I haven't really put myself out there that much except for the last 2 years online.
Mm-hmm.
Like I really didn't push for Instagram or anything until like a year and a half ago. And so doing that has forced me to like go out of my comfort zone because I don't necessarily like being in front of the camera, like showing off like
That's
my
funny though.
skills.
Somebody actually wrote on. I just saw the post that I posted about you. They said she should be in front of the camera more often.
I know I'm so sick of, I mean, that's fine. Cool. That's a nice compliment, but I don't like it.
I
And
know.
I tell people too, I was like, you do not want me to do that. It's going to be a disaster. But I mean, for someone who's struggling, if you're really looking for a network of people, you really do have to put yourself out there online. A lot of times, what I do on Facebook, I'm a part of 10 different film groups on Facebook,
Wow.
and a lot of the local groups, they'll post jobs. And that's how I've gotten a lot of work too, is just reaching out to people who are local, meeting new people. I'll go and work for someone for not that much money, but I know every time I do that, I'm going to meet someone on set that will lead to another job. And I can't tell you how many times that has happened for me because I'm not very extroverted or anything, but when I'm on set, I'm really excited and happy. Like that's my happy place. And so I love talking to people. And even if I just do some random PA job for half a day, if I'm not doing anything, I'll go do it because it's with someone I know, or I know it will lead to another job in the future. And I can't think of one job where I haven't met someone where like even months or, a couple days down the line, they'll call me and be like, "Hey, like I need someone for this." Every single time it will lead to a job. So I think if you're struggling and you're looking for that community, you really do have to put yourself out there. You have to take risks. You have to reach out to people you don't know.
Yes.
You have to you have to be comfortable being uncomfortable in front of people, and you really have to just reach out and because we're all struggling. I'm struggling constantly. Like this is not a steady job and it's very up and down. And so having that community of people around you and reaching out and letting people know this is what you do, this is what I need help with, or this is what I'm willing to do to get help. I think that's really the most important thing you can do to try and not go crazy and find that community that you're looking for. And that's really what's led me to this point in my life. Like I think like a year and a half ago I barely even like used my Instagram, and I thought this could be an opportunity to try and, you know, push my career ahead to a point to where I want to. This is all about meeting people and finding work. Like it has nothing to do with vanity or looking cool. Like everything has a purpose, which is why I wrote my book, which is why I have my website on there. Like I want to drive people to let them know this is what I do. Um, and be confident in that. I think that's another thing that's scary is being confident in telling people I am a filmmaker. Sounds weird for me even to say that. Like if people ask me what I do, I'm like, yeah, I'm a filmmaker. Like, oh, and then you got the questions like, have I seen anything you've done, or what do you do, and all that. I'm like, probably not. But like it just being confident in that aspect and letting people know and not quitting and having people see that this is what you do and you're constantly striving and struggling and working towards your goals
Right.
is probably one of the most important things people can see, because talent will get you so far, but being reliable and consistent and a hard worker is definitely going to push you to that point. So to being a professional and having people want to work with you.
Wow. Well said.
Thank
Definitely.
you.
That was amazing. I hope everybody's listening and takes some what you just said about. I love the fact that you said you got to be comfortable being uncomfortable, and
Hmm.
that's what sticked out the most, because that's what a lot of people struggles.
Yeah.
Being doing something, they question themselves so much they end up not doing anything. And
Yeah.
we all go through it. Even the best days, we got best days, we got the worst days. We get in our head, and
Hmm.
that's the worst. Our mind is just, honestly, like, if you can't control your mind, oh my
Yeah.
god, it's just not gonna be good. By
Yeah.
the way, do you recommend film school?
Um, so I mean, this is kind of where I've been asked this a lot, and so I like for me personally, film school was a good choice because one, I didn't have a network of people. I didn't have equipment. I don't have money. I don't have, the resources that school could have given me. And also the experience in school, you're allowed to make mistakes. You're allowed to use equipment and people for free. And in the real world, that's not necessarily how it is.
Right.
And people, if you're working for free in the real world, people will take advantage of you, or there's other aspects to it that aren't as good. And so when you're a student, you're all at the same level and you're all allowed to be bad. Like I was terrible. Like all my first films in college, they weren't good, but I was in school, so you're allowed to be bad.
Learning, right.
Yeah. And so if you're at a point in your life where you don't have any, assets or people or connections or a network of people or money, I would definitely recommend school. I graduated, I have a bachelor's of science in digital media, but my emphasis is in cinema production. So mine wasn't like a film school, but it was a film degree.
Right.
Um,
Have you used it for anything?
huh? Oh, my degree?
Yeah.
I mean, like I've used it in my own personal life, like because I took web, so it helped me with my website. I took photography, that's helped me with
Nice.
every aspect of my degree has helped me in some way with my own
Right,
business and
right.
my
I
own
have
job.
used the degree because the thing is, like, we
Yeah.
need the degree to actually get a job.
Oh, I mean, a couple, but they weren't necessarily required.
They look for
Um,
experience, correct?
right. It just looks nice. It really is. It's just something that people like to hear, and it's just something that makes you sound, I guess, more professional, or at least at the very least, it makes you sound dedicated to finishing something that was difficult.
Right.
Because school was very difficult for me. I hated school. I took a couple years off after high school to get prepared for it because I was so burned out. And I honestly wouldn't have gone to school without film because I hate it so much. And it took me a while to graduate because I hate it so much. But at
Because
the
it
same
wasn't like
time,
you
yeah,
had to take classes, right?
yeah.
To like, it wasn't really all films. Like,
No,
it was just all classes to actually.
yeah, it was a normal bachelor's degree. So I had to do my generals as well. And
Right.
that's really what I struggled with. I think I took 5 math classes. I couldn't get through it. It was
But you
terrible.
knew what you wanted to do. That's the most important.
Yeah, exactly. And so I really just graduated to prove to myself that I could finish it. And plus, I didn't want to spend all that time and money and not, have the piece of paper that I was working towards.
Right.
But and then like at the same time, if you don't want to go to film school and you don't have those resources or the money to go, I would just do the same thing, like network, go PA, go PA and get experience on sets. A good way to do that is go on Facebook, find your local film groups, reach out to people on Instagram, and find that network of people to where you can go and get that experience on a film set as a PA or whatever and work your way up from there.
Yes, and I believe in Facebook groups actually. That a lot of people
Hmm.
don't know about it. There's a lot of Facebook groups out there that actually are always looking for PAs. PAs is
Yeah.
actually one of the first like roles that people are always
Hmm.
asking because PA is so people think like, oh, PA, I don't want to be a PA, but that's like one of the most important part of production.
Yeah.
You guys, PA, I respect them so much because they do so much for us.
Hmm.
They're everywhere. They're doing a million things at a time. So you know, anybody that's a PA, clap to you definitely. And I
Yeah.
want to say welcome Ozzy, Austin, Riley. There's a couple of people that actually are part of the community that are supporting. Thank you for joining us.
Nice.
Awesome. So let me go to the next question. Where do you see yourself in 10 years?
Oh, hopefully a lot farther than 10 years ago. So, I mean, like, I plan on doing this for the rest of my life. Like, this is definitely something that I'm very much ingrained in and dedicated to, even though it's difficult and I'm not where I thought I would be at this point. I mean, at this point, I thought I'd be directing my first feature film right now, and that fell through. And so, I mean, of course, that's normal in the industry, and you never know if a project's actually going to go through or not until it's actually happening. But in 10 years, I'm hoping to have, just working in the industry, not worrying about bills. That's kind of all I care about is like making enough money to work and do what I love and not worry about my financial situation at all.
Right.
And just making I feel like my answer is so boring. It's just like making feature films and directing music videos and just working constantly and traveling and meeting new people and connecting and just working more in the industry and
Well, you like
doing what I like.
films,
Yeah.
music videos. What's your favorite thing to shoot?
Um, I mean, probably films just because I like to write, and so I like shooting stuff that I write, and then of course music videos. Like I haven't done any music videos for a long time, but it really is something that I love to do. It's just hard to find other artists who have money to pay for a music video because we're all broke. So,
I
and
love
then
how honest you are.
and then like especially I mean like I of course like I make money doing other things, but doing music videos is definitely something that I think is more of a challenge for people to do, especially where like I'm in Utah, and so I feel like a lot of people don't necessarily have that capital to put towards a music video or anything like that because they're spending their money on the music.
Right,
So
right, true, very true.
yeah.
So this question relates to what you just said about, you know, what you when you see yourself in 10 years. But I want to ask you, what would you tell yourself, your 10-year self, you know, what you know now?
Oh, I definitely probably would have buckled down a lot more getting through school. And I mean, I feel I did work really hard in school and I did do a lot of stuff for free. Um, I mean, I don't know if I would have done anything different besides maybe avoiding a few projects and avoiding a few people.
Yeah.
Um, but you know, at the same time, you learn lessons from those people, whether they're good or bad, and then you move on from them. And so getting through
You learn
those
something from
times,
them.
yeah,
Okay.
I don't know if I would necessarily wanted to avoid them in any way, shape, or form because that's made me who I am now.
Right, exactly.
Yeah. And so, I don't know. I guess the biggest thing is probably have more confidence in myself. I was reading something like
Believe in yourself.
yeah, like I've spent all this time, I've spent all this money and sacrifice and writing and researching and learning, and like I'm still constantly researching and trying to learn. And because this industry is always changing and technology is always changing, which is what I like, but you do have to stay on top of it. And so it's just a constant struggle of feeling like you don't know enough
I know.
ever. And I always have to remind myself like, no, I've been doing this for a while now. I should be more confident in, you know, my storytelling, my directing, my editing because I've done a lot of it.
Hmm.
And so I guess just being okay with being confident is probably the biggest thing. Like I don't like to talk about myself or boast about myself, but like when it comes to working on projects, sometimes I do get timid or a little scared, feeling like I don't know what I'm talking about. But that's just in my head because I
Right,
have
just in your head.
worked towards it. Yeah, like
Yeah.
I do have the experience. I don't know why I feel like that, and I shouldn't. And so I guess the biggest thing is having more confidence in the things that you know.
Right. I feel like sometimes people you don't expect the reaction of people. Sometimes their reaction might make you think that you don't know what you're talking about, but you
Right.
actually know what you're talking about. I know what you're
Yeah.
saying. I've been there. You tell them something, they just look at you like, "What?" But they get it.
Yeah.
They just don't want to, you know, acknowledge the fact that you know what you're talking about. I know what you're talking
Right.
about. Exactly.
Exactly. Yeah. Like I went to I worked on a 48-hour film festival and I was really intimidated because I was going out to LA and I was working with people who, you know, are more in the industry in certain aspects. And I was kind of nervous and I got there and I fit right in. And not only did I fit in, like I fixed like some lighting problems, I worked on the camera, like and there were some things that I knew more about
Hmm.
and that really just boosted my confidence because it's like wow, I'm in LA and I'm working with these people
Right.
and I'm still at their level or you know I know more in some ways than they do, and so it was just really exciting for me to solidify that I do know what I'm talking about in a way, especially in LA
Right.
because that's
So much,
where everyone is.
and there's so much competition in LA. It's so crowded.
Yeah.
It's crazy. But oh, talking about that, actually, do you think you have to go to like LA, New York, ATL to actually be a filmmaker?
um no.
You're a great
I
answer.
think well because I mean the internet and everything's so you know everything's so instantaneous now. You really don't have to be there for people to see your work. Like
Hmm.
everyone like I just said, like my book, like people from all over the world are now connecting with me, Australia, India, and all that stuff. And a lot of people do think I'm in LA for whatever reason. I don't know why. I guess that's just a thing. But it's so expensive there, and like you said, the competition is very fierce. There's a lot of people there. It's very crowded. And especially if you're just starting out, I would persuade you not to go there because for me, I want to get at the top of my field where I am now And then if someone needs me there, I will go. I had an acting teacher tell me, do not go to LA unless you have someone telling you to go there. Because I know a lot of people that have gone there who are very talented, they're very committed to their craft, and they get burned out and they leave. Because, not all of them, but for the most part, a lot of people do leave because this industry is already hard enough. To go someplace where it's the most difficult, I think is a great place to get burned out quickly and to lose confidence in yourself.
Right, because if you're going
Yeah.
there, just if you're not ready for what is gonna come,
Right. Yeah.
it's gonna hit you right in the face.
Yeah.
You gotta, and that's why you have to be strong. You have to take, and not everything is gonna be all nice and beautiful because being on set for 14 hours or 12 hours, whatever it is, that's. But if you love it, you wouldn't mind it. But if you don't love it, you're gonna hate it.
Yeah, exactly. And I want to spend time on like my own projects and my own stuff right now and focus on getting better and you just getting to the top of my craft to where I could feel comfortable going to a new place. But for the most part, you really don't have to be in those places to be a filmmaker.
It's true. You don't have
And a lot of people travel too. Like I
Yeah.
know a lot of people who go back and forth and travel there because projects are all over the world. Like you don't necessarily have to be in one place.
Thank you. So we have a community of all filmmakers from all around the world. So these filmmakers there's so many industries like India, we have India in the house, definitely Nigeria, we have Africa. So there's so many industries that we might not know about in the US, but they're doing amazing movies. They're throwing it out there. And Netflix are coming in. A lot of people from Spain, have you heard of the Heist?
Yeah.
In Spanish called La Casa de Papel. So it's like they're from Spain and they're coming here to the US and they're taking over. And you see the quality of the cinematography that they have. It's mind blowing. It's why I tell people you don't have to be in these places that we promote. You have to be in LA or New York, ATL to actually make it, but that's not true. Now, no more. Like as you said online. It's like look at us right now talking.
Yeah.
And you're in another state. I'm in another state, but we still are communicating with each other.
Exactly.
Through Instagram. But yeah.
Yeah. Well, yeah, and then it's just like Parasite, like from Korea. It was the first nominated, foreign speaking language Oscar-winning film, and they won so many awards, and it's not even English. And that movie was amazing. I've been studying a lot about Korean film and all that, and they're doing incredible things also, and none of their films are in English.
Yeah, exactly. And it's all captioned. You have to read it to really understand it. And it won. And I'm saying that's just mind blowing. It's crazy.
Yeah.
Like, I know the director was mind blown when he actually heard his movie being best movie of the year. Like, that's amazing. It's just it just shows to whoever actually want to get into this industry, you can make it anywhere around the world. And you have to have a support system, a community, people that do believe in you, and just keep going and just believe in yourself.
Right, exactly.
Awesome. So let me jump in some questions. I know I have a question box here. Let me see. Oof. Thank you for all these questions, guys. If you guys have any questions, just drop them in the question box below. All right, let me see. I think you answered this question. But let's just, if you could say, in a few words, what advice do you have for young aspiring filmmakers that can't afford going to school?
Without connections. So the biggest thing, Facebook groups, find filmmaking Facebook groups locally, independent Facebook groups, find people on Instagram, and then find those jobs and go in PA is probably the biggest thing to meet people. Because when you PA, you're going to work with all the departments on PAing. You meet so many different kinds of people, and you get to see how a set runs. And literally every time I've PA'd, it's led to another job.
I love that. Yeah, exactly. And this is another one. This is a good one. Who is your inspiration?
I mean, it changes a lot. Right now, I'd say my biggest inspiration is Reid Burano. She's the director of The Handmaid's Tale. She did one of my favorite movies, I Think We're Alone Now. She's also a cinematographer, and she's come up on her own doing these beautiful films. and she's done them by herself, like making her career out of nothing. And she can do it all. She's a beautiful, cinematographer and director, and she's just kind of like an all around badass.
Yeah.
And I love her. I love her stuff. I think she's really talented. And so it's, I mean, it seems silly that women aren't more, it's well, more like there's just less of them, like not shown. And so to have women shown,
You're gonna be next. You're next.
like, yeah, you want to see that representation, just like anyone else wants to see themselves or their culture or anything represented in film. And so seeing someone like that come up and do such an incredible job is something that I really aspire to.
That's beautiful. That's so beautiful. I love that answer. And I bet you there's definitely people looking up to you. And I know you don't see it like that, but it's people that look, younger filmmakers that actually are looking at you like, wow, I want to be just like her when I grow up, because we do have, we have filmmakers that are starting from 13 years old to, to whatever, 90, 100.
Yeah.
So another
Exactly.
question will be, can you mention your top 3 all-time favorite movies or web series?
Oh,
If
okay.
you can think of it, if you can't, don't worry about it.
I mean, like my go-to movie is Lost in Translation. I
Hmm.
do love that movie. If you go on Screened on YouTube, they do a great kind of like analytical research piece on the film, and I watched it recently. I was like, oh my God, like I realized why I love that movie so much more now. It was just a great way of explaining it. And then let's see, Parasite is so amazing. Like I
Yes.
cried during that movie a couple
Wow.
times because there's so many different aspects, and I love dark comedy. That's kind of like my love, like my favorite genre. I don't
Yeah.
know what that says about me, but I love dark comedy, and Korean film has that great, you know, a dichotomy of comedy and drama and, horror, like scary things all combined into one thing. And that's kind of more what real life represents. Like we're not all in one genre. Like sometimes things are funny in inappropriate times or scary or whatever. And that movie was, I mean, a big inspiration to me as well because that's the kind of genre I want to do. And then like a series I love is called Killing Eve.
Mm.
It's on AMC. It's so good. It's so good. I love it so much. It's about a female detective who's going after another female kind of like hitman.
Yeah.
And the character development is so incredible. I've watched all the seasons a few times over and over again, and that really makes it so I know that I like it. If I can watch it over and over again, I think it's great. And so that's also kind of a dark comedy, but it's definitely a lot more dark. But Jodie Comer, I know she's going to be one of the big up and coming stars here soon because
Oh
she's
wow.
just incredible.
Oh, sorry.
There's some fruit.
I'm trying to stay healthy. But yeah, that's amazing. Thank you for sharing that with us. I really
Yeah.
appreciate that. And another question will be, by the way, Ozzy, thank you, Ozzy in the house. Um, we love this community. Thank you guys for joining us. Another question is, I just saw it. Do you hold on? Where it is? Where is it? Where is it? It's basically was I was reading it.
Mangoes.
How do you get? Well, this is a good one. How do you get inspiration for for maybe for shoots? I guess from
Oh, like just for film stuff.
yeah,
I mean, the when I write, I have to listen to music. Music's a really big part of my world in general. Like I'm constantly looking for new music, and like I'll sometimes listen to music I don't necessarily like because I think it would go well with a scene
right,
or a movie or something that I'm writing. So music is definitely a huge inspiration. I listen to a lot of piano type music, instrumental, because it doesn't distract me as much, but it will put me in that tone or that mood that I want to be in for writing. Um, that's probably the biggest inspiration for me to like get ideas.
right.
And then I mean, dreams. Like, I'll have crazy dreams. A lot of my dreams, I don't dream about myself. I'm not in my dreams a lot. It's weird. Like, even when I was little, before I wanted to be a filmmaker, I'd have dreams that were kind of like movies. Like, I've had dreams in black and white. I've had dreams about talking cats and dinosaurs and just weird stuff. I mean, so most of it's useless. It's not even like, doesn't make any sense. But I mean, a lot of times, like, I'll write them down and that will spark an idea for a short or something. And since I think about it so much, visions or little things will just pop into my head all the time. I don't know if I can explain that.
Yeah, yeah, but I get it. You get it. Like, it's like you use your dreams, you actually make something out of it, and
Right.
it's like how say it, like it's like signs that you get
Yeah.
in your sleep. I know what you're
Mhm.
saying. I get it. I get the same
Yeah.
thing. I wake up sometimes and I just come up with an idea and I have to write it down. Just like
Yeah. Yeah, I do that too. Yep.
awesome. So this is another one. Do you experience any hardship as a female in the film industry?
um I mean, in Utah, it's definitely, I don't know how it is in other places. I know, like, when I've been to LA, there's definitely a lot more women, so you don't feel like as much of an outsider. But in Utah, I mean, there's a lot of sets I've been on where I'm the only girl. And, like, even if people aren't necessarily rude, it does put you in sort of a vulnerable position because you feel like you have to prove yourself that much more. And since there aren't as many women that are represented, you feel like you have to be better
Mm,
and you can't make any mistakes, because if you make a mistake, then it almost feels like, oh, well, if she can't do it, then none of these women can do it. They don't know what they're doing, type of thing.
right.
And I think the biggest thing is, I know a lot of it has to do with confidence and being confident in yourself.
Yeah.
And I've had people try to say things to me that I already know about, or like explain things to me or tell me how to do my job. And it's really more like, I, it can be a little insulting at times.
Right.
I know a lot of people aren't trying to be, and I know a lot of it has to do with confidence, and they feel like you don't know what you're talking about, or maybe you're being too timid or something. But I have a very relaxed, demeanor on set, and I'm very happy. And so I'm not necessarily like throwing down the hammer, because I want everyone to have a good experience, and I like collaborating and teamwork,
Mm-hmm.
and having that. I did a lot of sports growing up, so having that like good sportsmanship mentality. And so I think some people see that and they think I don't know, like, I don't want to make decisions, which I do. Like, I have everything planned out, but I really like input from other people as we're going along, because I don't want to have that big of an ego where I feel like I know
You're
everything.
a leader, not a boss, right? That's what I.
Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly. Like, I don't want to micromanage people. I want people to be free to do their job, and I want them to respect their job. But at the same time, I want them to respect that I'm the director and what I say goes. Like,
Hey,
I have a shirt that says director, what I say goes. Like, that's where I got that from. But
just saying.
yeah. And so I think you kind of feel a little more like you feel like you're being looked at that much more because you're a girl. And if you make any mistakes, I do have that weight on my shoulders, that if I do make a mistake or something happens, people will look at me at just the fact that it's my gender and not me per se. So there's just that, like, I see it and I am used to it now. But just getting over that hurdle of feeling confident and being okay with being looked at and not fitting in.
Right.
I don't really fit. Like, I feel like a lot of times, especially when I go to a new set where I don't know anyone, I don't fit in. Like, I do not look like I'd be hauling around equipment and, doing like all the dirty grime work, because I do a lot of camera operating as well. Like, it's not a glamorous job. Like, I'm working hard. It's very physical and labor intensive at times. And I don't fit in, but you just get used to being looked at and then trying to find that commonality with people. And I mean, once they get to know me, of course I fit in because I'm a nerd and I love film just like everyone else does, and I work really hard at it. But I think, yeah, and it's just the confidence thing
It's
that
just the
you really need
confidence.
to
You need
push
to push
yourself
it.
to.
And those face, those reactions that people give you, I
Hmm.
feel like you, like, not you, of course, but anybody that feels intimidated, just like ignore that. Just ignore.
Right.
Just make, like you said, believe in yourself. Whatever face they give you, whatever reaction they give you, I just told you what you need to do. Just do what I just told you. Sometimes you have to just forget that. And I'm not trying
Yeah.
to say be a dick. You could
Right.
be, there's ways you could say, you could talk to people, but at the same time, sometimes people will not appreciate the way you talk to them. But that's you. You have to be
Right.
like, that's me, and if you don't like it,
Yeah.
I'm sorry, you're not gonna work with me next time. And,
Yeah.
and that's something that I did learn a lot, because
Hmm.
I'm such a nice guy, and I'm trying to always
Hmm.
please everybody.
Right.
Everybody. But at the same time, you actually have to understand that you cannot please everybody. You can't make everybody happy. Some people are
Right.
just gonna look at you like, oh, she thinks she's all that. But then you know what you're doing, and why you're
I'm
the
just doing
director,
my job.
right? And there's a point
Yeah.
why you're the director. And
Right.
yeah, there's a point. You're not gonna be a director just because somebody just put you there. It's
Right.
because you actually work your way up to get there. So
Hmm.
it's true. Like, when people actually say, when people always gonna talk, so you just gotta let them be and just do your thing and just
Yeah.
be happy, confident, and just do what you're doing, because you're doing great. Honestly, you're doing great. Awesome. So what was your worst? I don't know if you did had a worst day, but what was your worst day on set, and what was your best day on set?
I don't know if I've had like a worse, like, uh, on set it's so up and down, like some days are really great and some days are hard because maybe you're not on schedule or the weather or something random. I mean, the most recent, and not necessarily recent, but one I can think of, I was a PA a couple years ago, and the people were just rude. they're they
Yeah,
um
I've been there.
they're very very condescending, very disorganized, kind of blaming all the PAs for everything that was going wrong. And I think I got asked if I've ever worked on a film set before at one time.
Wow.
And it was spring and it was hailing and it was freezing, so no one like wore the right clothes. And I had to get up, I think at 4:30 in the morning to go get people, and then
Wow.
it was just exhausting, and I couldn't wait to get out of there. Like it was just such a I mean, that's the thing, like when I'm directing, I want everyone to have a good experience. I mean, like I want to work hard and get what we need to get done, but at the
Right.
same time, there's no reason to treat people like garbage,
No, at all.
especially if they're working for you, even despite them being a PA.
Right.
Um, and so that was probably, I mean, it's I think the most part it's really just who you work with. That makes a huge difference, and so finding the right people
Mm-hmm.
is crucial.
It's true.
um, And then, best day, I don't know, like, I guess like my senior project, that was pretty exciting. You have to get that approved by the professor. So I wrote a short and they approved it. So, we got a cool location on this sheep farm in the middle of nowhere for 3 days. And it was my first bigger project. So I had like a 30-person crew,
Nice.
and we had a horse for one of the days,
Wow.
which I would not recommend.
Oh, you
Because I wanted to go big, because I knew I had the help I needed, and I knew it was, my senior project, like that's
right.
the big project. So I got a horse, and
Was
it
it
was
hard to get a
challenging.
horse?
Huh?
Was it hard to get one?
I mean, kind of. I'm in Utah, so it wasn't necessarily that difficult.
Okay, okay, okay. Gotcha.
And there's a lot of farms and stuff, especially down in Utah County. So we found someone with a horse, but she wasn't necessarily the most experienced trainer and we took the horse out of its element to the set, and it didn't like that. So it was about a 15-hour day. And I scheduled one day just with the horse. And thank goodness I did that because it did take all that time.
Wow.
And our actor did get bucked in the head once and his lip got a little swollen. Luckily it was at the end of the day,
Oh my
and
goodness.
he was very calm and like just a trooper.
He just took
And
it. He
so he was fine. Like that's what I like, working with people like that. So thank goodness I found someone like that for the lead. Um that was a hard day, but all in all, like that whole experience was probably one of the best experiences that I had because it was my first big project to prove that I could do it
Mm-hmm.
and that I could work like just to see how much I could get done in 3 days and do a big project like that because it was challenging, especially having all those elements in it.
Right.
Yeah.
And that's like you just prove that to yourself, and that's like
Right.
that's good for you, for yourself to see like, oh, okay, if I could do this, I could do anything else.
Yeah.
That's awesome. Well,
Yeah.
congrats. And
Thanks.
and I was gonna ask you, what software do you use for editing?
I use Premiere.
Premiere. Have you used
Yeah.
DaVinci Resolve before?
No, I've been meaning to look at it because it's free,
It's free, yeah.
right? So
I
when I
haven't
was
used it
gonna
myself. I do recommend it because I
okay,
do get a lot of people telling me about it. It's like
yeah,
really easy to use and it's free. You can beat
right.
that.
And I was thinking about getting it and then Adobe gave 2 months for free for people and I was like,
Nice.
"Oh,
They
I'll wait."
still doing that?
I don't know. I did it right when I heard about it
Okay. Because
a month ago.
all right, guys, there might be something. Check Adobe. They might give 2 months free. If you guys want to check it
Yeah.
out, go check out Adobe.
Yeah.
Yeah, Adobe.com. It should be Adobe.com. Yeah.
Yeah. I don't know if they still are. I know they were giving 2 months for free though during the
That's awesome. Yeah, for sure.
which was yeah, it was awesome. And like I need it though because I have the suite, and so that's what I used to do my book on. I used Illustrator or not Illustrator, what is it? InDesign.
Yeah.
Yeah, InDesign to do my book, and I kind of want to do another one soon, and so and then I also use Photoshop from time to time.
Oh, nice, nice.
So I like the suite.
Hey, that's awesome. So you said you was talking about when you wrote your book. Somebody asked, how do you get ideas to write a story? Like,
Um, just any story.
yeah, any story.
I mean, it's really
You
it's
did mention it. You know, you said when
yeah,
dreams.
it's really kind of all over the place. Like it's dreams I'll have, it's music. I watch a lot of movies and I research a lot. I love watching Screened on YouTube. That gets me a lot of ideas.
Nice.
And in the mood, sketch comedy, I'll watch Key and Peele. I
I
love
love
them.
it.
I think they're so funny and just comic
Like you said,
geniuses.
they got dark humor too. Their humor.
Yeah.
I get.
Yeah, they do.
I love it. I get that. I just get that humor.
Yeah.
Just me. Like even Kevin Hart. That's another dude I love.
Mhm.
But yeah,
I love stand-up comedy.
I love that.
Yeah, and just watching a lot of things. I watch a lot of documentaries too, even though I don't necessarily want to make any. But yeah, and then I read a lot, and then just research a lot, and that really just I just like to write a lot, and so that really puts me in the mood to get inspired. I don't really necessarily look for inspiration unless I'm writing something. If I'm in the middle of writing something and I need help, that's really when I try and dive deep into getting something going in my mind or inspiration, and that's usually when I'll listen to music or watch some kind of like research on it. Like I'm writing a kind of a thriller episode right now for a friend of mine, and it's a lot more dark than what I'm used to, and so I've been researching horror movies a lot, and I watch like Watch Mojo or Screened or something like that where they go into depth about it,
Right.
and it will just give me ideas or like symbolism, and I'll think of like I'm going off of like the seven sins, so I haven't each like I'm not talking about it, but each actor or character has like a sin where they represent it, and just going diving deep more into character development at first and then getting ideas from there.
Nice. Awesome.
So
Yeah, I know you did answer a lot. You did answer this in the whole interview. So if you guys
mhm.
haven't heard, the past 50 minutes that we've been in here, definitely is going to be on for 24 hours. Instagram is doing something different actually. In the future, they actually going to have, so I'm going to save this by the way too. They're
Okay.
going to have this, they're going to put it on, they're going to be a menu that you can actually put in your IGTV. So it could stay there forever.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
Yeah, that's
they
good.
trying it already on people, but not me yet. but there's some people that I know it's beta right now. So
Mm.
so it's not gonna be 24 hours. It's gonna stay on IGTV, and you can actually watch it whenever you want, and that's
Oh,
pretty cool, right?
that's a good idea. Yeah,
Yeah.
because some people want that.
Right.
I do.
I'm sorry. What you say?
I want that.
Yeah.
So that'd be nice. Yeah. Yeah.
Also, there's another thing too on Facebook that I hope the IGTV, I'm sorry, IG Live, they do this. So on Facebook, you actually could have more than one person on the live. So it could be,
Oh,
yeah, it could be like me, somebody else, and then you, for example, and then it could be us
yeah.
talking, and it could be a group talking to each other. That's another thing that would be cool
Yeah.
to come, and it's just gonna make it more funner and
Right.
more interesting. But yeah,
Yeah.
AC, thank you for your time, and honestly,
Hmm.
thank you for talking to the community. I just want people, can you tell people your YouTube channel where they can find you? Uh,
Oh, I have a YouTube channel, but I don't have anything on it.
oh, you haven't put anything yet on?
I mean, I had one, but it's just old stuff. And so everything, most of my stuff's on my website. So if you go to wittingramfilm.com slash
Yeah,
storytelling is where you
so
can get the
that.
book. But like, here's this. He made it backwards for me.
Oh, that's cool. That's
So
awesome.
you guys can see that. That's my website.
That's your website. Keep it there for
And then
more
that's
time.
my Instagram right there. Yeah, take a snap of that if you guys want to see that. That will take you to pretty much everything I have out right now.
I love that.
And then and then yeah, I mean I pretty much stay up to date on my Instagram. That's the social media that I use. I have a Facebook too where that I kind of use.
Same name?
Um and so it's just Wit Ingram. It would just be my name.
Awesome.
And that's just a fan page that I don't use
Awesome.
as much. But Instagram is pretty much where I put all my new stuff
Yeah.
and then my website, of course. So
That's so cool. Well, thank you so much.
yeah, thank you.
Yeah, thank you. Just a little, just give some, some people an advice so we could end this beautiful.
Yeah.
So tell them like what we use, give somebody a filmmaker that's coming up,
Hmm.
and yeah, and then we could just let them know where to find you, and we could just end it.
Yeah. So I guess the biggest thing is I've been doing this for a few years now, and there's so many times that I could have given up. And it would have made sense for me to give up. Like no one would have said, "Oh, you should have kept going" or something like, "Oh, wow, like that's a lot." Like, yeah, I understand why you wouldn't have wanted to keep going and all that stuff. And so if you truly love this and you know that I feel like this is my purpose and this is what I've meant to do. As like weird and as hard as it is for me to say that out loud, like this is really my passion, this is my love, this is everything to me. And so if you really do want to do this and you really want and you feel like you have a voice and you feel like this is what you want to, dedicate your life to, honestly, consistency and not giving up is the biggest thing. And like like I said, there's so many times where I wanted to give up and I didn't necessarily want to, but everything was against me and I had to like start over pretty much a couple years ago. And like a lot of stuff has happened between school and now. But since I haven't given up and I've definitely put myself out there and like reached out to people like you and like not been afraid of like talking about myself or like trying to inspire people or just being myself in general has been such a huge turning point in my life. And like, um, like even telling people I'm a filmmaker and like being consistent and trying to get through this and having a community around you is so huge to like have that confidence in yourself. And so honestly, like since I've been doing this, I only do this full time. I'm only freelance. So people know that. And if they need me, they know they can call me. And so they know I'm dedicated to it. And that's a huge thing in film. Like if you're not reliable, if you're not dedicated, if they know that they can't like reach out to you and you're not going to be there for them, there's no point in you doing this because no one's going to want to work with you. And so if you really love it and you want to be consistent and work in this industry, just keep doing it.
Right.
Just keep going, just keep learning, just keep working with people because something good is going to come out of it. It might not be within the next few days, it might take a while. And you know, only the strong survive.
Yes.
Really, at the end of the day, like, it's not going to be an overnight thing. I think that's what we were talking about before. Like, it's going to take a long time, and it's going to take dedication. And as long as people can see that, they're going to believe in you, and they're going to want to work with you because they see that passion and that purpose that you have.
Yes.
And so that, I think that's why people have gravitated toward me, not necessarily because I have all these accomplishments and all this work. It's because I love it so much. And like, I don't like talking to people, but when I talk about film, I love it. And like, people can see that, and people can
Yeah.
see when you really do love something.
Yeah.
And I do so much, and I really do believe in it. And I believe in storytelling and how inspiring filmmaking can be just in general to everyone. And so just being consistent and staying with it and letting people see that passion that you have, I think is probably the biggest thing that I would tell my past self and then anyone that's trying to start in this industry.
That's so beautiful. Well, thank you for sharing that.
Yeah.
We appreciate you, honestly, and honestly, thank you again. And for
Thank
everybody
you.
who's watching, they are getting inspired by you, by your words, and I know you inspire so many people. And as much as, like you said, never quit, never quit,
Mm-hmm.
follow your dreams, and
Yep.
repetition, repetition, repetition. Like Riley said, just consistency.
Yep.
And I believe that it's just, you know, you got to work, and you said the strong, the only the strong survive. And
Yes.
thank you, I appreciate
Yeah.
you. So everybody, stay safe. This is Whitney. Can you tell them where they can find you?
Whit Ingram. Here, I'll put this up
Again,
again.
yeah.
Whit Ingram.
Awesome.
wittingram.com. That's my website, and then that's my Instagram handle. You can also go wittingramfilm.com/storytelling. That will take you straight to my book and my script consulting services.
Thank
So
you. Well, thank you again, and everybody stay safe. You too, stay safe.
thank you. You
And
too.
of course, and keep following your dreams. And thank you guys for tuning in. And we will talk to you soon.
Thank you.
Bye.
Bye.